Dawson Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with a review of the most anticipated figure art of all time. Who, you ask? It's Jess. No, it's G3 Mild. No, I wish it was G3 Mild. It's Kiva. So this is the only main rider to not get a release for literally the longest time. I mean, we literally started doing that and just saying literally a lot. It's literally just a small calzone. But I mean, we started this, renewal, better version line of which multiple main riders got a figure release before Kiva ever got one. We did do Ixa and Dark Kiva way back during early Figuarts, but it's absolutely insane how long it took us just to get him so that you could say you had one of every main rider. So everybody was kind of anticipating it because it became a meme at this point. Like, now the meme's gone. Way to go, Bandai, you ruined the meme. But this was especially anticipated for me because Kiva was my first rider. It remains one of my favorite rider series and one of my favorite main suits and suits period. So I was very excited for it since it's the first real update in a figure like this since the Souchaku henshin. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Obviously the box is just par for the course, nothing too special to go over, just kind of this schmancy looking box with a nice photo of him on there and then some photos on the back. As for what comes with him, you get a pretty good amount. Before I forget, you do get one of these ride watch stands like you got with Geo and Gates and some of the others. So if you're into that, that's a little bonus, I guess. You have the closed fist hands, which are on him. You have Kivat, which I'll get into in a second, which is removable and you can move them around. Each of the little flessels here are removable, as are the holders for them. So those count as accessories because they were in this tray right here, of which you also get the swappable leg for the finisher, which is cool. You have two of Kiva's signature pose hands, some just kind of general relaxed hands, and then I believe this one's supposed to be for the violin. And then this little bit here can be attached, that's a good way of speaking, Dawson, can be attached for a stand for Kivat, which is nice. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the main figure. I overall think it's a very nice figure. Is it perfect? No. It still doesn't have that real quality feel that I miss about Figuarts, especially for this higher end section of it. But I think for the most part, they did do a really nice job on the sculpt. Like, there's nothing really major about the proportions or the paint or anything like that that I feel needs to be called out in any way. And I don't really have any loose joint problems, but it just doesn't have that quality feel that Figuarts used to have. And even though the joints, aren't loose, they don't feel like that tight quality. It feels like on the borderline, if that makes any sense, like they could become loose someday. But, so those are my only real complaints, is what I wanted to kind of get out of the way. And I'm a little bit biased because I was excited to get this period. And other than, wait, that sounded excited, like just pretend that sentence sounded normal. But I was excited to get this figure period. There we go. That sounded better, guys. Anyway, oh God, this is a weird one already. Like, I was doing pretty good for almost 3 minutes there. But yeah, the point is I was excited that we're just getting this. So I'm a little bit biased, but I don't think it's perfect, and I do wish that Figuarts kind of returned to feeling like these items that were worthy of your money. But I think the head sculpt is mostly very well done. I think the large compound eyes look really nice. The red paint looks really good. They got a really nice shine to it. They did a good job here on the silver as well, having like a metallic feel to it, or like, when looking at it, not an actual feel. A pretty solid job here on the chains as well. The chains as well. You got all these little details here in the back. The Kivat I'll take off in a second, but he's very nicely done as well. He's got little compound eyes and details, and he can actually move and stuff. And then you have the little flessels here, which are individual and they can come out. Let me take one of them out. Just carefully, I think I put this one in backwards anyway. Classic me, classic Pilo. I think I might have put all of them in backwards, or at least some of them. But they are removable, which is kind of nice. So, oh, the other hand's for holding the flessels, not for the violin. I'm an idiot. But anyway, I don't know why I didn't just realize that. I was thinking because they're releasing like this pack that includes like the bike and the chair and the violin, and sometimes they'll include a hand like, hey, you can use this if you buy the DLC. But so this is nice. I kind of wish they had two versions where you could, kind of like the Den-O Souchaku Henshins used to do. I think the Figuarts did it as well, where you could have a blank version and then the individual ones, and then a one that's just fully solid, because amongst the Souchaku Henshins and the SICs, I always have problem losing these. So it's nice to have these little detail works, and you can like pose them individually holding ones that you have, but it does create a little bit of that problem. Everything else detail-wise I think looks pretty solid. The metal here looks really nice, or at least the metal look of it. It doesn't have not compound, I don't know why I said that, you know, die-cast metal, there we go, compound metal. But yeah, overall, look-wise, I think they did a really nice job. I think the proportions are nice, they used a nice mold. I mean, if it's just sitting there, it looks very pretty. It's a very nice looking figure. Outside of my nitpicks, which just kind of extend to the general Figuarts line, in, well, general, it's a very pleasing looking figure, and I'm definitely happy to have this very nice looking Kiva figure for this scale. So real quick, you can take out Kivat here. It's like this two-part little system where you kind of snap them on and you know, fold it down just like on the show, and then it snaps in here for extra security. But let's get the camera to focus on him here. There we go. So his wings can actually fold out, which is nice. So like I said, you can put it on that little stand if you want with that attachment, or a little stand with that attachment. So you can have him posed like that. And you can also open his mouth, which is a nice little detail. So it's just kind of nice extra details they didn't need to do. It kind of left me wishing, especially since this is the higher end of the Figuarts line, that they did include a two of them, basically, so that I could have a little mini Kivat to display somewhere or do something with, and then keep one on the belt, just because, I don't know, it would be nice. They used to do stuff like that, I feel. In a second here, I'll show just really quickly swapping out the the leg for the finisher move, but I want to show a quick comparison to his last comparable release, which was actually way back in the Souchaku henshin line, which is basically a precursor to Figuarts. Like, this was kind of the main figure line for writer collectors for this scale before Figuarts came around. And the Kiva ones I always felt were kind of the hybrid. Den-O and Kiva was like the hybrid transitioning from the way they were. And I used to think like, oh, these actually aren't so bad, but you can see the clear difference in scale. It's kind of neat that this has the more shiny die-cast metal and stuff like that. And I still do have a fondness for this figure. And this one obviously had just this that could open up, so that's a bit of a difference, but I didn't mind that. Well, way to go, Kiva. Your big debut and you fall over. But the head sculpt is really where you can see the difference. Now he's not going to stand up because he broke his feet on the way down. But you can really see the difference in the head sculpt. This one's just so weird now that I'm looking at it. But this does have a really nice heft to it because of the Souchaku henshin. So I do kind of miss that feel. Like, it wouldn't be quite that heavy. I also don't know, what kind of pose is this? Like, he's just calling someone out politely? Anyway, so that is really the last comparable difference, which is really funny because usually I have like the original release version to compare to, like for Agito and Kabuto and stuff, but this one was he was the last of the Souchaku henshins because they never did any for Decade afterwards. So this is very easy to switch out, which is really nice. It looks pretty solid. I think they did a really good job on it. It's going to make for some really cool posing possibilities, which makes me happy. So overall, as I said a couple times in this review, I'm a little bit biased on this guy because, like I said, he's one of my favorites. I've been waiting for it a while. But I can say that if you are a Kiva fan like myself, I can definitely recommend checking it out. Just make sure you get a good price. These can be a little pricey, which is kind of obnoxious, and there's part of me that doesn't feel like they're worth the money in general. Figuarts, I feel, have been very iffy for me, but so basically, it's good advice for anything to find a good price. Like, I'm never going to be like, guys, I want you to pay as much money as possible for this. But if you're a Kiva fan like me, I think you will enjoy this figure and enjoy finally being able to get your hands on one of the scale in a good size. I'm hoping that they do, and a good size, and a good quality meant. I'm hoping that they go on to do more Kiva figures now. It should be fairly easy to do the arms form. Maybe an update of Dark Kiva would be nice. But so yeah, I think in general Figuarts aren't perfect and not quite as worth the money, but if you can find a good price, I think Kiva fans will be happy with this. It's still a very solid figure that I'm mostly happy with. Anyway, that's about it for this one. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, don't forget to climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications from all my videos. Till next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.